Howdy everyone, welcome back to the Luna Geeks Out channel, and today, an exciting day, we are continuing with our journey through BABYMETAL's new album, The Other One, with the track Believing. I've heard some good stuff on this one. If memory serves correctly, this one gets pretty dang heavy, which I'm very much looking forward to. I mean, the pop stuff with BABYMETAL is what brings me into their stuff, you know, that was what really caught my attention at the beginning and everything, but man, the heaviness is just so good. And I've been on a heavy music kick today, listening to like some Lorna Shore and stuff like that, so anything that's on the heavier side is gonna make me happy. So yeah, very excited to check this one out, so without further ado, let's hop into it. Looks of electronic, slight atmospheric start. Okay, a little heavy. Slight callback to Mirror Mirror with the, sort of the general tone and structure. Slight, oh, what's what I'm looking for? Vocal distortion, very cool. Okay. Really cool sound here. Call us back to something off of Metal Galaxy in that section. Good chorus so far. Yeah, really cool vocals in this one. Yeah, this very much feels like sort of Mirror Mirror 2. New twist on it. I'd say slight improvement. Yeah, really cool guitar there. Love what they're doing with the vocals. This is one of the weaker ones so far. I'm hoping we'll get something coming in that just hits insanely hard, but so far it is definitely an interesting one. And just super fun chorus. Not as strong as some of the others, but I mean, it's BABYMETAL. It's high quality. I do like this part. This is nice. There we go. That's the kind of thing I was hoping we'd get. Something that just catches me off guard a little bit. That's crazy heavy. And into the bridge. Really good shift transition there. Drums going hard. Back into the second half of the chorus. Very nice. Wait, no. I'm an idiot. That's the first part of the chorus. I may be stupid. Yeah, it's super heavy. Again. Yeah, super cool guitar in this one. I'm still preferring other tracks off this, but this has a lot of good elements in it. Right, yeah. Shorter song, but on the whole pretty good. Definitely, I'd put it down. Well, there's nothing else coming in. So no, I'd put it down roughly on the same level as Mirror Mirror. I'm going back and forth as I think about which one I like more. Mirror Mirror definitely had a bit of that proggy sound, which just rarely works for me. This one, a bit more standard, but had some good callbacks to it for sure. But both tracks just not quite as much my thing. But yeah, this one had a lot of good elements in it. I had a blast checking this one out. but definitely one of the weaker ones. I'll dive into all of that later on, of course. But first, what the heck am I saying? First off, we need to talk about the lyrics. There we go. That is not how I say that normally. Anyways, lyric time. Yeah, I'm struggling today. Right off the bat, verse 1. Don't want to be confused anymore. There's no safe space. We can't just go back to the way we were. Leave everything in God's hands. The first line there, I don't want to be confused anymore. A lot of this ties into, a lot of the stuff of the song ties into two themes. The first is what we see in the title, the theme of belief, a very broad theme, and then a more specific, but also somewhat broad theme is sort of the relation the narrator of this story has to another person. I don't necessarily think that's a romantic relationship. It has read more so as a strong friendship, but room for interpretation, as with all of these things. But this first line ties into the dog's barking. I'm sorry if that's picking up. The first line ties into the idea of belief, as I'm reading it. I don't want to be confused anymore that, I don't know, I'm struggling to put this into words. It's like putting their faith, putting their belief into something, and knowing that that's sort of it, not having that confusion about things. I'm not sure how to properly convey that idea, but hopefully the ramblings make sense to y'all. Then there's no safe space, I think ties into a bit of the broader story, with the journey they're taking through the Metalverse, and the idea that... Sorry, my phone made a really weird buzzing sound. Traveling through the Metalverse, how do I get back to the thought I was saying? Traveling through the Metalverse, visiting all these different universes and dimensions and such, and the idea that it has grown dangerous. There's nowhere safe in this journey anymore, is how I'm reading that. Then we just can't go back to the way we were, ties into the chorus, so I'll dive into that in a bit, but that's just, I think, setting up what we see in the chorus, and then leave everything in God's hands. I think there's twofold there. One, it ties into the idea of belief, but leave everything in God's hands. With one interpretation is the idea of putting your belief, again, in some sort of higher power, perhaps. I mean, it's baby metal, so perhaps it's the fox god, but just... You know, putting your belief and putting your faith in something greater than you, but then perhaps we just can't go back to the way we were, leave everything in God's hands. Perhaps that's where they were, they can't go back to that. They need to perhaps take control themselves, something like that, right? I think there's two separate interpretations that could be had there. I am intrigued by both of them. There's not one that is necessarily grabbing me more as sort of the correct one, so I'll leave it up to y'all to decide which one you prefer with that. Into the chorus. This ties a bit more into the theme of a relationship that I was talking about. The seasons change, you are not the same. The seasons change, we are not the same. I think this is tying back into, what was that line? We just can't go back to the way we were. We are not the same, right? That as this journey has gone along, as things have changed and evolved, that they themselves have changed and evolved, and they are different people now. Into the chorus, don't go back. Again, ties back into the we just can't go back to the way we were. Perhaps it's this idea that they're better off now. The way they've grown is for the better. Something along those lines, perhaps. All the things you said, all the things I know, all the things you said, all the things I know, believing you. I think is another idea that I need to figure out how to put into words. But I think it's, again, just sort of, well, I got it. It brings these two ideas together, the idea of belief and the idea of their relationship with this other character, I suppose, that they're putting their belief in them, that they are believing in this person, they are believing this person, and the importance of what they've said to each other and the things that they know, that kind of thing. Again, struggling a little bit to put it into words, as tends to be the case, but hopefully these ramblings are making some element of sense to y'all. Verse 2, I don't want to be afraid anymore. I think just a general statement, a bit of a look towards the future again, like we've seen in some of the other songs that, you know, they're casting aside this fear and these hesitations and such. There's no middle ground, I think. Tying into, again, sort of the overarching story, we've had ideas of, like, inner conflict between good and evil and such like that. Is that how to phrase stuff? I don't know if that's proper grammar. We'll stick with it. Such like that. Yeah, there's no middle ground between this. You have to choose a side. You have to stand by something, whatever it may be. We just can't go back to the way we were. Again, it's kind of like heads or tails. Heads or tails is, again, tying back to what I was saying, there's no middle ground, but the good versus evil thing. You know, you flip a coin, it'll land heads or it'll land tails. It's options, it's choices, but it is also opposites. So some good stuff there. Then the chorus, again, nothing much to say there. The bridge, wherever you are, repeated 4 times. That, you know, there's not a lot in that bridge, so it's a little tricky to unpack. But what I'm getting there, and here I should clarify that much like all of the lyrical analysis, I am BSing my way through this. I read through these things several times, and then half this stuff I just make up as I'm going along, because I'm like, oh, this kind of makes sense. So take all of the stuff I'm saying with a grain of salt, all right? But what I'm kind of grabbing here is wherever you are ties back into the believing you, that kind of thing. That wherever this person is, whatever they're doing, whatever they're going through, that kind of thing, they will continue to believe in them. They'll continue to stand by them, things like that. So very good song, a little more perhaps abstract than some of the others, but in a way that there's not as much sort of symbolism and poetry perhaps that you can grab some different ideas from. It's much like another one of the songs on here that I forget. You know, I think I'm thinking of Mirror Mirror again, so another tie-in, much like that one. It's a little simplistic, but there's a lot of strength within the lyrics. And, yeah, good stuff. Not my favorite lyrics on here. That still goes to Monochrome. Not even probably, like, top 5, but some good stuff. I think this album has definitely had some strong lyricism from what I've heard so far, from what I've seen so far. So, yeah, very good, much like the rest of the album. Now, to hop into the music, it was alright. Much like Mirror Mirror, it didn't hit quite as hard as some of the others, but it had a lot of good elements. Starting off with the vocals, super cool. May actually be my favorite vocals so far. I think there's just some interesting stuff going on with them. Much like Time Wave, I think we just got a bit more almost experimentation, which was really cool. We had the vocal distortion in the verses. Super cool sound. Would love to hear some more of that in BABYMETAL going forward. Used, you know, sparingly and appropriately, of course. Don't just throw it in for the sake of throwing it in, but I thought that was very cool. I quite liked that. So yeah, the vocals there were very nice. The rest of the vocals didn't perhaps surprise me as much. I didn't think they were quite as interesting, but they were very high quality. A lot of force and power behind them, as is to be expected. Sue and Moa both did an amazing job. Not as standout as some of the other stuff on the album, of course, but very good, very high quality, as is to be expected. Guitar, oh, that was good. I think the guitar in this, you know, maybe not as technical or you know, impressive perhaps as Mirror Mirror, but it was a bit more my kind of thing. We got a little bit of that sort of progressive edge, and definitely within the tone and within just the general technique and structure. I felt like there was a deliberate callback to Mirror Mirror, but I think this one, it just aligned more with my taste, right? We had a bit more heaviness in it, just a bit more, just a bit more hard, heavy riffing almost, so a bit more into my personal tastes and everything, but very good guitar, and not quite as stand out as Mirror Mirror, but I think it was a bit more my kind of thing. And I'll be comparing this to Mirror Mirror a lot, so stick with me through that. But yeah, good guitar in this space. Once again, sadly did not notice, so I can't comment on that. Drums, however, were fantastic. Loved those. A little bit of technicality and just motion and such within them, but a lot of just solid beats with a lot of good energy and everything. So yeah, great drums in this, one of the few times that they really have stood out on this album so far, so loved the drums on this one. And then finally, we had some slight electronic elements at the beginning, and I think they popped up from time to time in the rest of it. They were good. They were quite good. Not quite as noteworthy as some of the other songs on the album that have incorporated electronic elements, but certainly very good. So yeah, on the whole, this song, I think that final point about the electronics really applies to the song as a whole. Not quite as noteworthy as some of the others on the album, but overall very good. And that is exactly how I feel on this one. It was an enjoyable song, a lot of great elements, but just compared to some of the others, it's a bit weak, unfortunately. And I think, again, it's partially just because it's somewhat similar to Mirror Mirror, which just didn't really do it for me. As I think about it, I might actually like Mirror Mirror a little more than this one. I think that one definitely did have a bit more interest to it. This one was a little more bland, perhaps, but definitely enjoyable. It had a lot of heaviness that came forth, which I quite liked. I've talked about that at the beginning. Had fun chorus, not quite as memorable as some of the others on the album, for sure, but a fun chorus. Really cool verses. I did quite like those. Those are probably the highlights. So, yeah, I guess just on the whole, this was just an enjoyable, if perhaps slightly forgettable song, which, I mean, it fits sort of the lower range I've heard from BABYMETAL, where their worst songs are still really good, just not up on the same level as the others. One or two flaws in them, one or two things that's just not my kind of thing. So yeah, I think, yeah, just again, good song, not my favorite, but good. But yeah, that is all I have to say on the song, on the music. So y'all know the drill. It is time to select the next thing we will be reacting to. Oh man, my computer is fighting against me today. I have no rant leading into this. Let's just give it a spin and see what we get. Also, we're up to 50, which is nice. I'm very glad I switched to the more or less daily uploads. Bright Ear, okay, stick with the Japanese metal, some sort of power/heavy metal. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. A Bright Ear, you know, not quite as impressive, or, well, that's not the word to use. Not quite as what is the word I'm looking for? I think I just need to completely rephrase this. They're not my favorite band I check out, but it's always a blast. There we go. It's always just some good, fun metal music. Love checking it out. Get Out Here advertisement. Okay, then I have no idea what song that is. I forgot I had a Bright Ear track on this list. Get Out of Here advertisement. But it'll be good. It'll be good. Yeah, Bright Ear, very, very fun band. Definitely looking forward to checking them out. But that is it for the video, nothing more to say, so y'all know the drill. I don't know the drill today, apparently. If you liked, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below with your own thoughts of the track, any feedback or criticism, or anything you want me to react to. Link to the song in the description so you can check it out, support the artist. Link to my BABYMETAL videos playlist, my Alt Idols reactions playlist, my rock and metal reactions playlist, and my Japanese music reactions playlist. Oh, that's a lot. And also links to, those playlists so you can check out some similar content from me, and then links to my Discord server, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify playlist for all the songs I've reacted to, at least the ones up on Spotify, and my link tree, which has all my other stuff in it in case any of that interests y'all. Anyways, like I said, that's going to do it. So once again, thank y'all for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing ya.